Yes, that cave.
Cool.
Yes. Be warned.
What?
If you are to remove the relic from its altar, the dead shall rise from their grave.
Really, I don't care, dude. I'm getting the relic. I've been waiting for this for so long.
You must be stopped. Oh, you sumbitch.
That's what you get, punk. Nothing's stopping me now.
Oh my God, there it is. After all these years, I finally found a relic. Oh my God, come here. Finally, after all these years, I finally found a relic I've been searching for, and nobody's gonna stop me from taking it. Wait a minute, what did that guide say? If I remove the relic from its altar, that the dead would rise from their graves? Oh, please. What's the worst that could possibly happen?
Everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with a movie review. This time I will be reviewing Uncharted, the movie. That's right, I got to go see this one early, so I'm releasing my video a day or two early before launch because apparently there doesn't seem to be an embargo on it, so I'm going ahead and doing that. Now, this $120 million budget movie stars Tom Holland as the young Drake, Nathan Drake, and Mark Wahlberg as a young Sully. It also has Antonio Banderas as one of the main bad guys, and it does have a lot of different characters from the games, which I will actually say I gratefully appreciate. But if you actually watch this movie, you know that there was a lot of trouble leading up to it. This has been in development hell for a long time, switching all kinds of different directors over the time. This movie was supposed to be made a long time ago, way before COVID-19 screwed things up even more. In fact, I think the worst thing about this movie in particular is the casting. Right up front, don't get me wrong, I like Tom Holland, but I think he's, quote, the flavor of the month. Due to all the money they made off of Spider-Man, they're like, Tom Holland, Tom Holland, Tom Holland. He doesn't fit. Now, maybe as a super young Nathan Drake, he does kind of fit, but he's never going to be bulky enough to actually look like the older Nathan Drake we're used to seeing. Like I said, I think the casting was really, really badly done in this. Mark Wahlberg is a terrible Sully. His voice ain't right. Even later on when he's got the mustache and stuff, it just doesn't fit as the character. I think the casting was really bad. In fact, on YouTube, they made this little mini movie of Uncharted with, I forget the name of the guy who was originally wanting to be Nathan Drake. Fallon, I think his name, or whatever. If you check that out, I think that's way better than this is. But as for the overall plot, without spoiling anything in this, since it is kind of sort of like a DLC of the games, is it centers upon them trying to recover Magellan's lost ships and all the treasure on both these ships. And that's pretty much, it's a globe-trotting adventure. They start off first where they get caught trying to steal the maps, get thrown to prison. They escape from prison, and it fast forwards to where Nathan Drake is like working like a bartender / pickpocket, meets back up with Sully, and they go out and go to get this cross and all this other stuff along the way, fighting bad guys, having really bad one-liners. I mean, the writing in this movie is atrocious. Now, don't get me wrong, the writing in the games themselves can be kind of corny, but it fits with the characters. If you played the games, you know how quirky they are with the way Nathan Drake is and feeds off of Sully and Chloe or Shiloh or whatever her name is. All them characters work, and in this, I think it has to do with very poor writing. The script is just bare bones and garbage. It really is. Honestly, I do like the fact that it's kind of odd. Some parts they stay 100% way too faithful to the games, almost like scene-by-scene remakes from the games, and then a bunch of other scenes that are completely different. And I wish they wouldn't have done that. I wish you would have either stayed true from start to finish to make it like the games, or do a new take of it, okay? Because like right at the beginning, they start off with the box sequence in the back of the train, hanging out the ship, and after the stuff happens there, they cut away and then say, this many weeks earlier. Now, a lot of people who were watching this movie were like, why'd they do that? It's like, no, if you played the games, they do that in the games. They really do. So I didn't have a problem with that. And it started off with like, okay, I like it. And then they start getting in these parts that have nothing to do with the original games. And I understand it is a different quest, but why would you tie in direct sequences from the games into this if this is quote unquote a new adventure? Just create new stuff, That's what bothered me. It seems like they wanted to touch back on the fans of the Uncharted series by actually going, hey, look, here's scenes from Uncharted. Here's scenes from Uncharted. It's like, no, wrong. Your casting was wrong. They both try, honestly. I think Mark Wahlberg kind of gets a case of The Happening in this, though. I don't think he really does a good job acting in this movie. And Tom Holland does his best. He really does. He's not bad as a young Nathan Drake. Honestly, as a young Nathan Drake, I had no problem with him. But, as this, quote, series progresses, there's no way they're going to have him back. And if they do, it's just going to look stupid. He's going to, Stick Boy Holland, oh, look, it's Nathan Drake again. No, he works as a young Nathan Drake, and that's about it. I do like how they brought in all kinds of characters, including Sam, and so I really wish that this wouldn't have suffered from poor writing. The effects, they're hit and miss. I mean, honestly, for a $120 million budget, I think the effects are kind of subpar in a lot of parts. And the main problem I have with it is apparently Nathan Drake in this movie has the ability to turn on and off gravity at will. And if you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's certain parts where you're like, okay, you're doing this and there's obviously no gravity, because if there was, there's no way humanly possible that you could do these things that you're doing. And I realize it's a novelization, a movie version of a video game. But in all due fairness, I think it was rather poorly done. I think that they should not have made this movie. I think the casting was completely wrong. And while it did have some pretty epic set piece moments, especially at the end with the ships, which honestly right there felt like it was DLC from an Uncharted game, which I'd like to see, that part was good. I liked those parts. But it's when they harkened back and tried to do scene by scene recreations of other parts from the games, I think that's a big misstep in this. So if they would have just made a completely new original story from start to finish and not relied on bringing in parts that were pretty much straight from the games, I think it would have helped a lot more, because they could have had a standalone thing, did their own thing, made it like an Uncharted version of Tomb Raider, which, let's be honest, that's all Uncharted's ever been. It's been a cocky Tomb Raider, from Naughty Dog when they made it, and honestly, I was disappointed with this film. The beginning part I kind of like, but I'm like, okay, where are they going with this? It doesn't really fit. This is just shoehorned in from the game. The casting I didn't like. Like I said, Tom Holland does good, but other than being young Nathan Drake, it just doesn't work for me. Honestly, hands down, Antonio Banderas did pretty good as the bad guy. I had no problem with him. I had no problem with the rest of the cast. But Mark Wahlberg just absolutely sucks in this. And it's my own personal opinion, but I think the casting was wrong, and I think the script needed to be rewritten again to where they came up with a whole new thing and then cherry pick certain scenes out of the game. Because I can see right now, if they make a sequel to this, I wonder if it's going to start off with that train sequence from Uncharted 2. And that's the problem with it. I didn't have a problem with the pacing. I just had an issue with the overall plot. The dialogue's garbage. The casting is bad. And the only real parts I really liked were really stupid and unrealistic. But there was the end parts with the giant ships. I thought that was actually kind of cool. But in the end, can I actually recommend that you go and see Uncharted? If you are a huge fan of all the games and you're a huge Tom Holland fan, I can say yes, but pick it up as a matinee or wait to see it on a streaming service. It's really not that good. It's kind of a disappointment. And it's a shame considering that most video game movies don't turn out too good. The last one was Sonic the Hedgehog, which actually turned out pretty good, even though it had some issues too. But in the end, I would have to say, if you're a huge fan of the Uncharted series and Tom Holland, go ahead and see it. Just don't expect much. It's rather disappointing. The plot is very mediocre. The dialogue is terrible. Most of the effects are okay, and the other ones are terrible. And in the end, the best parts, I think, are the end sequences that you see in the trailers with the big giant ships being flown around by the giant helicopters. But in the end, that's just my personal opinion. Leave in the comments below what you think of the Uncharted movie. If you plan on seeing it, if you've already seen it, do you agree with me or disagree with me on this review? Make sure to give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Leave lots and lots of comments so I can answer each and every single one of them. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.